Before we begin, we want to provide a trigger warning that this episode touches on topics of domestic violence, mental health, and suicide. If you or anyone you know is struggling, call or text 988 at any time. Hello everyone, welcome to this month's Mystic Maintenance. We have Zombie, the person with the most unique name in Merced for sure. Thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I've been looking forward to expanding my experiences within the community, so I'm excited.
Yeah. Us too. We definitely wanted to make this happen. So how we met, you're doing your thing. You're the president, founder of the chess club. You're always involved in something. Yeah. So I first found you on Facebook, and then I was hosting my vision board workshop, and you so generously donated 4 tickets to women that couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
And that's how we met, because of your big heart.
I know. It's so big. Sometimes I'm like, no, but I'm like, I had to. Something in me was just like, no. Like, there needs to be more people to get that experience. And sometimes I personally feel like even putting that much in for yourself, if there's like resistance, but so I'm just like, well, maybe if it's out there and maybe you don't have to do nothing to show up, you just, and I'm so excited that they all showed up except one, I think.
Yeah.
But that's cool. At least other ones came through.
Yeah, but I'm sure people want to know that maybe don't know you or do know you but don't know the story. Were your parents just cool and called you Zombie?
No.
Or how did this happen? How did the coolness happen?
So the coolness happened probably 5-6 years ago, I would say. I legally changed it. So my birth name was Margarita Marie Guzman. I then changed it to Zumbie Allure. And then when I got married, it was sci-fi, so Zumbie Allure Sci-Fi. And it's with the U because I have a fan base that calls me their unicorn queen. So I was like, I need to put that in there too. So I would have went with the O, but I was like, no, that's my persona that I had online. That's what I went by so often for 2 years plus on social media. I was like, you know what? This is me. I love zombies. I love it. They can never die pretty much. So I'm just like, yeah, we're going to go with this.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a whole level of dedication to be like, you know what, my online persona, my art, my craft, like it really is me. And this is how I feel good. So that's going to be my name now.
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to do it. And then I had to go do it twice because I had my last name from my previous marriage and then my given name from my mother's maiden name. So I had to file twice. And so the second time around, I was just going to go with Zombie Allure. And I was like, no, I'm going to add in my husband's last name just because. And then, so it's a very long name. It's very intimidating too. I always get Zumbie and I'm like, don't focus on the U. It's not about the U. I mean, it is about the U, but as long as you follow, then you'll know to pronounce it Zombie. So, yeah. I've been going by Zombie since like 2013, since my first gamer tag. It was Zombie Girl Killer because I got into Call of Duty. And I played zombies all the time, so it's part of me. Resident Evil is part of me, so it's good. I love it. It's a good name.
I did play Call of Duty Zombies with my brother growing up, another video game lore drop for me. Yeah. And it's so fun, but it's so stressful because it's basically like survive till you can't.
Oh, yeah. And then it gets repetitive after a while, so then we just joke around. Like when I'm in my squad, we just do random stuff, and I'm just like, okay, can one of us just die already so we can start again and see how fast we can actually complete it? And then one time we completed it within an hour and a half. Like the old school Black Ops, like zombies was like my favorite of all time. And then so I decided to just keep with the name, and then my name's changed over the years, and I was like, we went back to Zombie, and I was like, well, Zombie Allure, because I attract people in with my energy. Allure, that's where it comes from. So I was like, I'm just gonna legally change it. Why not? Like, that's gonna be so like unique to myself, and it's cool because then people are like, how do you say? I was like, it's Zombie. They're like, what? And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, that's what we're going with.
Yeah, so what astrology cocktail made this zombie that you see before you? So, as you know, you are a Capricorn sun. But have you ever had your astrology read before? Like, do you know moon, rising, all that other jazz?
I'm just a baby. I don't know much. Nice. I want to get into the whole, like, numerology and all those type of things, but there's just so much to go with it. And I'm just like, I don't know. All I know is that I think my ruling house is 8. I think. I don't know. you can never trust a lot of what you see on Google. So all I know is that I'm a Cappy. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm excited for you to get to know your birth chart more in detail.
I'm so excited too.
And as far as I know, I'm Merced's only publicly available astrologer. So, luckily we met. We can do this now.
Yeah.
So you are a Capricorn sun. Already knew that from your birthday. You are a Scorpio moon. Yeah. That is definitely the allure part.
Okay, that's cool.
So the moon represents your inner world, your emotions, and then also sometimes like that femininity, that attractiveness, like who you really are when you feel safe. And sometimes people think of Scorpio as like very aggressive, which they can be, but they can also be very like deep, devoted, alluring, sensual because they're ruled by Mars traditionally.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. So the fire sign of the water signs is what we say.
What?
So that's your inner world, like when you feel safe. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That gives you that edge too. I feel like also your aesthetic is a little like, I don't know, it's a little dangerous. It's a little like alternative. Obviously you have a lot of cool tattoos and stuff. So yeah.
I got it all.
And then your rising sign is also Capricorn. So how you present and who you really are with your sun sign, which is joy, vitality, mission, they're aligned. So you can't really hide who you are. You're like, I'm not two-faced. I'm just one person. What you see is what you get.
That's facts. That's been my life since like forever.
Yeah, but also with Capricorns, they can be very hardworking if they are like mission driven. If they're like, I really want to create something, they're the doers. They're like, I want to make a physical change in my world, my community, my circumstances. So I'm just like, dang, how does this girl have the energy to like start this, start that, do the third thing? You have like all of these different missions. And I'm like, oh, because of the double Capricorn.
That makes so much sense. Like, I love, and that they always tell me, well, how do you do it? I'm like, I'll just do it. I have to be, I cannot not do nothing. Like it's in my core to find solutions to problems and things like that. So whenever I have the capability of doing that and then have the mental capacity to do that, I'm like, if I can, so I could help the person next to me that isn't ready yet to expose them to it, then that's what I plan on doing. So the more that I can feel that I have is the mental capacity that makes me assure that everything that I've been putting into my life and my healing space, that it's actually working. Because I got a lot of animals too. I got a lot of responsibilities. So it makes a lot of sense that like it's double. But see, I wouldn't have known any of that. That's something that it doesn't make sense to my head because I don't know like that pathway, but that's how I live my life.
Yeah.
I'll be doing a lot.
Yes, you do. And interestingly enough, you have something called a stellium. So as you continue to learn astrology on your own, you may come across this word. So a stellium means 3 planets in the same sign within 10 degrees. So it's like this big ass concentration in your chart. And that is in Capricorn. So not only do you have your sun and your rising, but you also have Uranus, which is the planet of like innovation, surprise, like technology advancement, wildness, and then Neptune, which is the planet of like fantasy, illusion. Sometimes it could be linked to fame, which we'll talk about. You are a content creator, but it's specifically, if you look at the birth chart, it's this big circle and it's divided into what we call 12 slices or 12 houses. This stellium or this concentration is in the 12th house of mental health. So interestingly enough, there's like this big drive and mission to be, especially with the sun. The sun is one of the luminaries, so it casts obviously like sunlight, a lot of energy there, to be open about your mental health journey.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy because growing up, 3 sectors, like anything 3s. I even have like 3 birthmarks, like a line on my arm. Anything in 3s that I see, I even have 3 boys. So like I'm like 3 is my lucky, my favorite number. It's been since all I can remember. So when I see patterns in 3s, like I take it a sign from the universe, like, hey, this is a positive sign. I'm like, what the hell? That's crazy. Well, a good crazy, but that's interesting.
Yeah. And then there's a point in the sky, which is not, visible. It's more like you have to do the math and see where things cross, called a north node, which is sort of like your compass, the carrot on the stick, the like, I don't know why, but I want to follow this. And it is in the 12th house of mental health. So sometimes when people are healers and doers, it's because they've had to go through the darkness themselves. And you're this like very bubbly, cheery person, but you seem like you're a baddie with a backstory.
Oh, I am.
Have you always just been like happy-go-lucky, or have you had to be forged by the fire?
I think forged by the fire for sure. I feel like a lot of the advocacy of learning to have my voice versus physical action was a struggle growing up, because it was either one or the other. I either physically expressed or I verbally expressed, but more or less so, I was always like, I backed up a lot of what I said through my physical action, which got me into a lot of trouble in school, with the law, with relationships, friendships, like family. And I've never been ashamed of it. It was just more or less of trying to understand why it had to get to that point of friction for it to make sense to me that those people no longer serve me in my path. Until I got older, I'm like, oh, that makes sense now. It makes a lot of sense now than it did back then. So I had to go through a lot of hurt and pain in order to find my light. And I'm a phoenix. I rise up. And that's okay. And so I'm very resilient in that space too. So I'm just like, just keep moving forward and just stay in your resilience. And I love that. I love that about myself. I wouldn't have changed any experience I've ever went through, because then I wouldn't be me if those experiences had happened. If I would have chose a different reaction, I wouldn't been even in this space regardless, because little things could also change your pathway of your journey. So I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I was a thug. I handle mines. Take on my G-string and handle mines, because, they played me so much growing up. But I shared my space, and then I built a lot of relationships and friendships till this day, like 26 years being here in Merced. I still have friendships, and it's because of my loyalty and everything that I followed through for it. Then I stand by that. I'm not fake. I wish I can be, but no, it's not in me.
Yeah, no, when your sun and your rising sign are the same, it's really hard.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Sometimes I'm just like, no, I can't do it. I cannot. So it comes out.
The poker face is not there.
Yeah, I can't. Sorry. I'm not Lady Gaga over here. I can't do no poker face. Can't do it for me.
Speaking of, the third house represents your early childhood, how you navigate through community, neighbors, basically your immediate physical environment, and that's in Aries. And Aries is like the hot Cheeto girl of the zodiac. So when you were like, I handled mine, like I was not scared. Yeah.
Oh, and I liked hot Cheetos growing up too. That was like one of my favorite foods of like ever, with the ice cream truck man. Oh, I would bug the crap out of him too, and he would get so annoyed of us. But no, that makes a lot of sense. I'm spicy.
Yeah, you were an initiator. You weren't afraid to push the boundaries and just like, this is how I'm feeling, and I'm gonna tell you how I feel.
Yeah. And a lot of people liked it more than not though too, ironically. Like if people call me bulldog, or like I got in a lot of fights growing up, so I was called Mike Tyson, and then I would bite people too while I was at it.
Oh my god, you would actually bite people in a fight?
Stitches. I don't play that. And I seen one of the people I gave stitches to, and he is a dude. It was a kid. He like directly punched me in the face, so I handled mine. I put him in a headlock. I bit. He went to the hospital and got stitches. Another girl got stitches too, and I'm like, that's what you guys get. You guys, I'm crazy over here. Y'all don't believe me. So I have to put my money where my mouth is. Now I can't do that. I'll go to prison, so I have to have responsibilities. I have to be an adult about things. So just hopefully their ancestors could help heal them. That's all I want, because healing is a bitch, and I'm still on that ride. Still on that yacht.
Yeah, so with all of this mental health talk, you shared a really big announcement yesterday. As of the day that we're recording, it'll be released in the future, but you finally got some answers. You finally got a diagnosis. Do you want to share?
Yeah, so for the past 2 years, I've been searching for not really a diagnosis, but just more of understanding of why my behavior is the way it is. What could it be mentally that is it doing to myself to make it so difficult for social spaces and social norms and things like that. So I went through my journey. I advocated for myself for 2 years, and then I finally was able to find a facility that does assessments for autism and ADHD, and I went through that. I went through a whole 1.5 month process, and then I finally got my letter that I am on the spectrum and also ADHD, so it's audio.
Oh yeah, ADHD is what some people call it.
Yeah, so I guess. And then so she was like, that makes a lot of sense from your upcoming, because there was a lot of back questions from childhood. And I was like, wow, if someone would have just been like, hey, but back then in the 90s, it wasn't like that. It was Asperger's at that point. So I did a lot of research and homework on my own, and I've started to realize that it has affected me so much more now, as in like in my 30s and late 20s, than it ever did in my youth. And it was just a nice experience to get that validation of like, I'm not crazy. I mean, I kind of am, but like the fact that I am neurodivergent and I do see things differently in the way I do encounter with people and things like that, and the way that I portray myself. I do a lot of mirroring and things like that, but when I feel safe, like that's my true self. I mean, I'm still me. It's just I have to be cautious how I move, because I care more for someone else to feel uncomfortable. I really want to assure the comfortability of others and ask questions and things like that. Or I'm very literal, like, hey, we're gonna go run to the store, we'll be right back, and then we're not running in the store, we're doing other things amongst that. So like accountability, like things like that really affected me, and it would piss me off. And so now I'm seeing like, okay, this is why, because I have autism, but I also have ADHD, and then I have other diagnoses that literally they fight against it. No one's on the same damn team. I feel like Joy, but not Joy, because none of my disorders are like working together. So it made me feel more better knowing that, hey, this is what I have, and now I could find more support and more people that are going through this type of stuff, and they're not alone, and I'm not alone. It makes me feel like I'm part of something bigger than just myself. I'm finding my answers.
Yeah. And it's so important, and I honor the fact that you're so open with your journey, because autism is so underdiagnosed in girls. Because girls are socialized to fawn, to like be nice, to consider other people, and boys can just kind of do whatever they want. And it's like, that's just Timmy, but you better stare at people even if it makes you uncomfortable.
Right?
Yeah.
So no, all three of my boys are on the spectrum too, and they have ADHD, which was making it even more make sense to me. But see, at the same time, I feel since I went through the journey of trying to find out what autism is and things like that, there's a lot of controversy against it too. There's like a lot of, it's always going to be up and down, like yeses and nos of like people accepting it or not. And I'm just, in my brain, I'm just like, there's an actual pattern of what this looks like to me. And if I would have gotten support when I was a child versus just being medicated at 7 for ADHD and getting therapy and all these type of things, it would have made my life a lot more better. But since I had to mask myself for so long, it hurted me in a way to where I got double trauma. And that's something that I don't think a lot of people are open enough to talk about. Like, hey, well, I was diagnosed with this, but then they didn't diagnose me with that. And then me on top of that, going through school and friendships and relationships, it makes sense once it's like, hey, you have autism. And I was like, oh yeah, but I'm high functioning autistic. It's not like and the geniusness of everyone else that levels different from autism is so amazing on how their brain functions and is different, because I could always find a solution to a problem. I'll see you struggling and I'll be like, have you tried this? A lot of people are like, people should that are on the spectrum should go into consultations or these type of things, or work field where you analyze our data collecting, because that's just our brains makes us happy, because we could find the patterns in things. So for me, I'm just like, I'm hella happy, because for 2 years I was like, no, I'm not giving up, and they wanted to have me pay $1,500. I was like, ain't nobody got time for none of that. So my insurance paid for it. Good. I didn't have to pay for nothing other than putting the time into analyzing and having all these questions pop up, which did bring up a lot of trauma experiences I had to go through in those spaces. And then she's like, well, that's why, because you're this, you're definitely on the spiciness. And so she's like, that affects your overall like life, like everything about your life, it affects it. So I'm like, oh my gosh, that makes a lot of sense. But I've navigated it through so much through mental health support to where now I have it, but it's not gonna like deplete me. And I'm so happy to be like, well, yeah, I got it. You're neurodivergent, me too.
Yeah.
It's like being part of a cool ass club, but it is right. Women
game recognized game.
Yeah, right. It's more of like people women especially are not screened, and we do there's a lot of masking and a lot of behavior of how you need to be and how to portray. But growing up, I've never done that. I've never sat in the norm. I would wear girly clothes and I'll be stimming, playing with dirt and mud and actually like rubbing it on my skin, versus other kids are just playing with it. No, I'm all mud out. I'll get in a mud bath at that point. But yeah, it was a lot. It was worth it though. I really liked the person that had my assessments, and the facility I went through focuses on giving tools to people that are neurodivergent. They do. She said it's geek therapy, where she'll literally be like a double buddy and she'll play video games with you. Or if you want to do bottle doubling, where like you'll have a hard time doing laundry, so she'll be there during session. And so they cater to specifically finding tools and techniques to help with neurodivergent brains, and they only focus in that. And I'm like, what? She's like, well, it's not actual therapy, it's just support. And I'm like, I'll take it. So wow. I'll be getting seen once a week by then, so I'm excited.
That's amazing. And there are so many things in your chart that are resonating with what you're saying. One of them, this key looking thing, this is Chiron. This is a comet asteroid hybrid that represents the wounded healer. So it's a point in your life where maybe you've had the most pain, but that pain can be transmuted into helping other people, and it's in Leo. So it definitely shows that through your pain, you're supposed to be of service or of leadership or visible in some way, because Leo is also like the performer, the like, I want to be in the spotlight, not necessarily for like egotistical reasons, but again, because it's in Chiron, it's like to serve a purpose, like learn from me, learn from my pain.
Does it say what timeline? This doesn't show a timeline of it. It just shows like what's on there, huh?
So this is your birth chart. So this is the energy that you're born with.
What?
And when you're born with this energy, like you could have the more like maybe immature sides of things, and then obviously you learn how to, control it or get like the best aspects of it. So for example, my moon and rising are in Libra, and Libra is known as like the people pleaser or the diplomat. So the immature side is the people pleaser, and then the mature side is the diplomat. So when I was younger and I couldn't control it, I was a people pleaser, but I've turned those soft skills into being diplomatic. So
that's cool. And my mom, she's a Leo.
Interesting.
But she doesn't believe in certain things, and I had to show her like evidence base, and I'm like, this is what it is, and she's like, oh, you're right. I'm like, I know. I don't like to be right all the time, but most of the time it's right.
And then you're very intelligent. You're always going to be a lifelong learner, because Mercury, the planet of communication, analysis, organization, and Mars, the planet of drive, action, are in Sagittarius, which is the philosopher of the zodiac sign. So very intelligent, also very adventurous, like not afraid to push their horizons both physically and mentally. So when you have communication and drive so close together, like less than 5 degrees apart, that's called a conjunction. So these energies are basically like fusing together. So you put it together like a sentence, like you have that communication and analytical drive to broaden your horizons.
I could agree. I concur. What is it? It's not concur.
Yeah,
it's concur.
Yeah.
See, I concur.
Checks out.
That's hella tight.
Yeah. And I know that you mentioned like, does it give you a timeline? So when astrologers look at your birth chart compared to like what's happening in the sky right now, that's basically called analyzing transits. So we're seeing what's going on in the sky, but then there's also something called symbolic time, which isn't something physically moving, but we can map more like energy moving instead of like a physical thing. So every time you have a birthday, there's a different theme. So right now you're in a 10th house year. So 10th house is the house of like visibility, reputation, notoriety. It's the year of the spotlight. So for you, from your last birthday until your birthday this year, this is a big, like, the spotlight is on you right now.
That's crazy.
Are you making moves? Are you in the spotlight?
I'm hella making moves. Like, that's crazy.
And then something else, Jupiter is about to enter Leo at the end of this month in your 7th house. So this could represent one of two things. The 7th house could represent your partner, but it could also represent business partners and contracts. And Jupiter is the planet of abundance. And so I don't know if you're taking like the next step with your partner or if you have an abundance in contract, but one of those two things is gonna
We
come
renewed our vows this year, and we're gonna be looking into getting a secondary property.
Wow, nice.
I was like, bro, I told you that. He's learning more about like numerology and like this type of stuff, and I always tell him, I'm like, this is what it is, and he's like, nah. I was like, bro, go look up those numbers and then go see what it's telling you, and then sure enough, and then like, wow, I would assume that because of a lot of the stuff is from like last year, but then it's actually I'm making it happen this year. So like the running my chess club and then doing the youth for chess and all these other alignments, like constantly going in my trainings and stuff like that and meeting people and stuff. So that at least I have confirmation, because I was like, why is it taking so long? It's not. It just has to go with the flow of things.
Yeah.
Dang.
Is your husband also a skeptic? Because
he's a Capricorn.
Oh, he's a Capricorn.
And he believe because he's a very people person too, but he's not a he's open to learning. He's a lifelong learner too. He's a jack of all trades. And I'm the idea girl, he's the idea maker, but I like to do things too. But then sometimes he don't let me. I'm like, bro, I want to do it. He's like, okay, you can learn. So I learn a lot from him, and so he learns a lot off of himself. So that would be pretty cool of him like learning more about it and figuring out how that works, because this is my field, like spirituality, all this type of like learning is what I love to do. But then he's open-minded.
I love that, and I would love to hear more about your sweetie and your relationship right after this ad break.
Yeah.
Today's episode is brought to you by us, Kythera Collective. If you've been vibing with the energy of the show, then you're going to love the Kythera Club over on Patreon. It's a space that I built for the cosmic, the curious, and the slightly chaotic. You know who you are. With 3 delicious tiers to choose from, we start with the chocolate level at $4 a month, which gains you access to weekly horoscopes and the exclusive Unhinged podcast, where I say things that don't make it to this main feed. It's sweet, it's spicy, and it's just for you. Next, we have the cafe level at $7 a month. This is where things really start to get cooking. You'll receive access to exclusive workshops, monthly virtual hangouts, and a private Discord community where you can chat directly with me and receive exclusive behind the scenes updates. It's magical, cozy, and a little unhinged in the best way. Finally, we have the tequila level. This is the VIP lounge. At $25 a month, you'll receive everything from the previous tiers, plus a personal 15-minute one-on-one session with myself or David each month, and discounts if you want to extend the session. It's a whole vibe and a powerful way to receive personalized guidance. So if you've been laughing along with us, crying, or rage screaming in agreement, come hang out with us at the Kythera Club. Head over to patreon.com/JenCalo and choose your tier. If you want to sponsor an episode and advertise with us, go to our website, www.jencalo.com. All right, now back to the show. Okay, welcome back.
Yeah.
So,
that was fast. I was like, wait, hold on. Okay.
That's the Hollywood magic.
Dang. Okay,
Yeah.
back at it again with another one.
So, Jen Explains is me explaining things to David, and he's a skeptic, but he respects me. He's open-minded. He's like, I'll hear you out. So, what is your partner's name?
His name's Dundo.
Dundo. Okay.
Yeah.
So is Dundo more of a skeptic and you're more of a mystic?
No, he mirrors me a lot. Like if I'm into something, I want to do something, he's open-minded. He's very interested. He's not like, he's like, no, that ain't true, or like, oh, where's the facts? It's more of like, he trusts my judgment because I've proved him right so many times. So then how can I be wrong?
Oh, interesting.
But he doesn't feed into it. He learns and applies, and then that's pretty much it.
He takes what resonates and leaves the rest, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Got it.
And so I'm just like, bro, manifestation. He's like, what? What's that? I'm like, hey, manifestation. He's like, oh. I'm like, yes. Oh, let's manifestation right now. And he's like, oh, I like this. So yeah, certain things he'll take and certain things he'll be like, ah. But for the most part, he's I have him open-minded about what I believe in because he's a Christian. He goes to church and stuff like that. But still, like, every pathway has a designated space for an experience. So I always teach him, like, hey, this is what I do. This is my pathway. And he respects it.
Nice.
We respect each other's viewpoints for sure.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. I want to tell you about more like ideal partners with this. I mean, I know you already have your sweetie, but I'm curious how much this aligns with the astrology. So in astrology, there's the rising sign, also known as the ascendant, and then the descendant, which is the western horizon, is usually like what you're attracted to, what you look for in a partner. And your western horizon or your descendant is in Cancer, which funny enough is the opposite sign of Capricorn. So with Cancer's focus on emotional security. So it's like I can get things done, but I need a partner that will be my safe space. Like if I need to handle the physical stuff, like I can do that, but I need someone to hold me like when I really, really need it.
Well, that's facts.
Aw.
That's so accurate for me. But I have to vocalize it. Like, bro, you Capricorn too. How's it not clicking for you, bro? Like, you need to get with it and understand. And so I had to vocalize a lot, advocate for myself a lot, because he went through pathways of experiences under his own journey that led him in areas where it's now making sense. And as we get older, there's a lot of learning experiences that we have to be okay with opening up and being open-minded to, versus being like, no, this is just how I am. So it's not like he doesn't want to be open-minded. It's more of like he went through so much to the point where now he's catching up. And I could either be nice and hold his hand, or I'll be up there on the steps being like, bro, hurry up, or you just walk off. But I've been with him for 6 years.
Wow.
Over the pathways of doing these things of up and downs and analyzing our relationship and the pros and cons. I learned in my previous marriage that finding pros and cons of things is not the beneficial thing in a space. You have to really just mentally meet people where their mental capacity is at. So I could be this age and be acting like a teenager. I would hope my husband could handle, like, hey, I'm gonna treat her like a teenager and be like, what do you want? Do you want to like cuddle and just feel safe and secure? Or, like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, well, I'm being emotional. I'm being this. I'm being that. So even then, I still have to advocate for myself because it doesn't click for him like as much as it can. Or I have to set reminders, which is a new experience for men to even be open up to that if they've never had that. And I already know there's a lot of different experiences that we both face growing up. Well, I have a daddy wound. So I have daddy issues, but I don't think they're issues. I just think that they're solved. We have solved solutions over here. So yeah, it's just interesting because I want to. So it's just one sign or multiple signs?
So a lot of different things can play off of each other. So the next thing, so that's like the first thing. The second thing about ideal partners, and you've been with him for 6 years. That's an amazing amount of time. So the ruler of the 7th house, like I said, is Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon.
Yeah.
Moon is in your 11th house of community and friendship. So what this says is you're more likely to find partners when they're in your community and your friend. There are some people that get into relationships and they very quickly, it feels like a job. Like they take on a role and it's like, no, we need to be friends first. So
that's crazy because both my exes were both best friends and they're the biologicals of my 2 other children.
Oh.
But they're Libras and they're unhealed Libras. They don't both mess me up. They're 2 days apart.
Wow.
I was like, okay, I should have asked, double checked, triple checked, but no, I was just like, Lord Jesus, man. How did I get 2 for 1? I don't know, I just did.
But with your current partner, would you say that you're friends first?
I found him in my healing journey. That's the thing. He just came in and it was like, and I was like, okay. And then we were not friends. We were like hanging out and seeing each other, building friendship.
Okay.
But he was not building nothing. He already had a plan. His plan was to get me, and he did. He then got me. So 6 years later, here we are. All I just wanted was for Windows. I wanted to just get Windows installed. That was it. No, he's seen something more. And I'm like, bro, I was in my healing journey.
He installed your Windows?
Yeah.
That's how you met?
Yeah, I was a client. I was like, how many times do you do this? He's like, never. I was like, okay, whatever. But he works with his family. He has a family-owned business. So I was just like, I'll take it. And then, sure enough, like we hung out long enough, and then healing and all that stuff, and then 6 years later, here we are. Going on 7 years, and next year, I'm just like, ooh. During COVID, man, out of all times, I had to wear a damn mask half the damn time that year. I couldn't even breathe.
A lot of people got booed up during COVID. They were like, you know, it's time to get a partner.
For real. But I was just trying to heal. 6 months in, I was already healing. I was going through my healing thing. And then he comes along, and then we're clicking. But obviously, we're clicking, too, because we're the same sign. He's a January, though. I'm a December Cappy. Yeah, there's a lot. Because my son, he's a Capricorn, too, and he's in January. And
more similar to the dad than you?
He just has this fire in him. Like, I went through so much domestic violence in my past relationship with that bio, and I thought that bio, I was just trying to, there's a long story with that, but it was just, I think he experienced a lot of secondhand, and so with his anger, it's just, he's so damn angry. I'm like, dude, I was like, you need to breathe. He's like, I was like, you little hokey, but calm down. I was like, I'm not Black Widow, I can't just calm you down, but I don't know. He needs Jesus now. He needs Jesus like his bio needs Jesus. Not just kidding. Not kidding, but yeah.
So where you see children in the birth chart is in the 5th house.
Okay,
and
I'm interested.
So your 5th house is ruled by Taurus, and then Taurus is ruled by Venus. So it's very grounding, it's very sensory, and it's interesting. You mentioned that your children are also on the spectrum, so sometimes like sensory things can help ground people, but it seems like there's a big emphasis on you being their safe space and teaching them how to like do somatic healing, move with their body, because Taurus is all about physical bodily sensations that feel good.
That makes
so like
sense.
Deep breathing or other things like that.
That makes sense, because that's what I do. I've done so many classes on parenting, conscious discipline. I've done a lot, and I love it. But with them, my oldest is the one that is attached more to me, physical touch and things like that. But being on the spectrum, it gets kind of hard. So that does make sense, because I do give them as much mental capacity load in their toolbox so they can learn how to be in life. And plus they're boys, and so when a girl says stop, don't, like, I don't need, I want my space, and they're not respecting me, then I get triggered, and I'm just like, okay, they're kids, they don't know, but then therefore I have to reinforce the learning aspect of it. Like, this is a social cue that it doesn't click for them, because they don't see me as somebody different. And a typical kid would be like, oh, my mom needs some space, or I'm doing too much. These kids are just like, I just want love, I want affection. They mirror a lot of what I give to them, and that's what I do for them, is mirror. And maybe I've went through the pathway of just maybe being too much physical love on them, to the point where it's automatic. So it's a learning experience of being like, hey, maybe I have to cut back, and hey, is it okay if I give you a hug? And so I've been doing that, and there's been dramatic changes now. And I prompt them, I'm like, if you see me triggered or angry or upset or anything like that, be like, Mom, dude, chill, breathe. And so my 3-year-old will be like, Mom, chill, breathe. And now that he's going on 5, he's like, Mama, chill, breathe. And I'm like, okay.
Aww.
So I utilize them to the max, like top tier max. So it's good.
You both ground each other.
Yeah,
that's
like
sweet.
it's good. Like, I love it because it's good.
Something else that is interesting in your 5th house. So 5th house is not only children, but it's also hobbies, creativity, play. Using whole sign astrology is called your Imam Coeli, which is basically like the bottom of the sky or the root of your chart. So that shows that you're grounded by play and creativity, and you do so much cool, fun, creative stuff. Like, obviously you're a gamer, you are the president of the chess club in Merced, you also do cosplay, and like maybe you're gonna start a podcast soon. So what fun, creative stuff are you doing right now?
I'm doing a lot. I'm creating a she shed.
Nice.
For like a creative space outlet, so then I could also do like content creating, and then I want to get back to streaming on Twitch too, and making more YouTube content.
What type of content do you make?
All types. I do mukbang. I burp and I fart on social media too. That's just me being me. And then for some reason I didn't know that was a community in that. I really didn't. People are all coming to my lives and they're like, oh, it's her. And I'm like, who are you? They're like, oh, you're all over YouTube. So people was taking my content, my clips from my Twitches, creating, what is it called? Compilations? Yeah, that thingy. And then they were just taking my content and posting me on there, and just they were giving me credit, but they were still using my clips for their fate. And I was like, how are they gonna do that? And then they would have like thousands of views, and they're like, who's this girl? And then so they go to mine, and mine, I'm not so saturated with that type of content, but I also, that's part of like, I love doing that. Like, I love being me, and me, I burp and I fart, and I eat good on camera, or I'll do streaming video games, or I'll just do chat hangout, things like that. And so that took a whole nother community of like people that enjoy watching me. They're like, come back. And I'm like, I'm going to. They're like, when? And I'm like, I don't got a time frame. I don't know.
Whenever I feel like it.
For real. And that would be random. I don't know. I feel like if I push to try to get back so quickly, I have a habit of being consistent and then abandoning my platform. So I don't know what the hell that pertains to. I don't know, but like, I'll be good for so amount of months and then I'll stop. I'll go some month. But I really feel like maybe it's just because I've been focused more on my mother role, my community role, that I haven't had time for the people that genuinely been holding it down for me, which is my online presence of my community that I had, that they formed for me. Like, I didn't go out there trying to have something. I was just going on my iPad back in the day and I was just venting out, just doing random shit, singing, lip singing, dancing, doing all those type of things. And then that created a fan base. Then I was like, maybe I should do gaming and cosplay. They're like, do it. And they supported me in that. And then they suggested all these other type of things, and so I did it too. So it was never like I just was the boat, and they navigated me in a way to where they're like, we want to see this, we want to see that. And now I'm getting into ASMR too, which I've always kind of done, but now I really want to focus on like the content and what type of aesthetics that I want to bring, because everything is up for grabs when it comes to creating, and I just want to set aside and be a little bit different. And I have so much stuff. I wear a lot of different hats, and it becomes like, well, what was my identity at that point? And it's all just me. So that's why I'm just like, I just gotta pick and choose and just be mindful of like my energy space. But overall, I love being on social media. I love having people feel safe enough to tell me, like, there's been times where they came and been like, well, I was suicidal and I wanted to kill myself, but you being you made me feel like I can embrace being me.
Wow.
And then I have fan bases of like people that follow me over the past 15 years that are now close friends of mine. Wow. So when I'm your friend, I'm your damn friend. And there's nothing that you could do about it unless if you be shady, and then I'll just be like, you're not meant for me. You're just like a little spicy experience, and then passing that chapter in my life. Because that's the hardest part, I think, is trying to find more community inside reality in your own space and in your own world versus people on social media. Because they have what it takes to sit there and make you feel like you matter. Like your homie will like, oh yeah, you cool, and I'm like, I'm really? They'll be like, no, girl, shut up. Like, I was like, damn. Like, my friend is like, I could have told you that you was autistic. I was like, damn, bro. I was like, shut up. He's like, nah, I'm good. I was like, and I known him since we was like really little, just for the past 24 years. So I'm just like, okay.
So speaking of divine timing, on your next birthday, which is coming up in December, once you have that birthday, then the shift is going to focus to your 11th house, which is community, but not your physical community, because that's the third house. 11th house is like a bigger community. And if you're a social media content creator, you want to look at your 11th house, because that's like the community at large, and it can also represent social media. So the fact that you're like, I'm not feeling it, maybe by your next birthday you'll suddenly get that inspiration of like, okay, now I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm just like, I got burned out to it too. Like it became, I didn't go on social media for other people, I went for me. So then when it became more about giving the people what they want, it was like seeing a reality check for me of being like, wow, like this is some bullshit, because the burnout was real. Yeah. But not only that, but seeing myself, how I've changed over the years of how I was on social media, it's became more of advocacy, speaking up, finding more space for women to feel safe. So I even created a Discord for girls, because there was need for it. But then the girls that are in there, like, I feel like they still need guidance. So like, I created a safe space. It's up to everybody else to sit there and be a part of it and contribute. But I'm not the type of individual that could I'm not going to do everything for you. I could do as much as I can in my capacity. But even then, so like, it's going to take you to find that heart and power in yourself to want that for you. So me being that inspiration, I feel like I could do that. But fixing problems that have to do with internal work, there's no way anybody could do that. Like,
yeah, I say the same thing during consultations. People are like, fix my life by reading my birth chart or by pulling my tarot cards. And again, I can guide you, but I can't fix your life for you. And it would be arrogant of me to think that I have that power. Only you have that power inside of you. Yeah. But speaking of things that are aligned with your energy right now, do you have anything fun going on in the community? Any events you're hosting or anything that you want to shout out right now?
I really am looking forward to finding people to help with the program that I'm running for a nonprofit that is bringing sports back to our community for free for the kids. And for that, I need to find people that are interested in learning about chess or have interest in chess. So the program is going to be ran for 6 weeks, and it's going to be ran at 2 different facilities. So I'm hoping that I could find people that are interested in that. But also more, I'm looking into breath work. Facilitating, and I want to learn how to do sound baths, and then try to have the confidence to do my yoga, because I have 200 hours of yoga.
Oh my goodness.
That have been sitting on my certificate for a while now, for the past like 6 months.
Wow.
But like I'm just like I'm how I am, but it's like when I feel like it's calling. You know what I'm saying? Like yoga in the park wanted me to do it, and I was like, I don't know, I've never done that before. Like I can't. It's not a switch. I can't just turn it on and off. Like it's either on my pathway or it's not. So I think more ways where I'm shifting is more of healing and finding community circles to be a part of and expand those connections with other people that have alignment with healing work or being a light worker or being a part of building up our communities. It's so hard though sometimes because there's a lot of friction and a lot of division. But I feel like the right people that could be the eye-opener are right in front of us. Like, we're the ones that could be the change. We just have to believe in ourselves in order to do it. So that's what I'm focused on right now, is believing in myself as much as everyone else believes in me. And I'm like, I don't want y'all to toot my horn. I want to be able to toot it on my own.
Yes, yes.
But it's okay. I welcome it. But still, like, it's a learning experience for sure.
If someone wanted to get in contact with you, if they did want to help facilitate, like, you know, the chess, the sports, anything with your nonprofit, which is your call to action for your community, like, if you want to be a part of this, like, this is what I'm looking for right now, what's the best way to get a hold of you? That's
the thing. There's a lot of different ways to get a hold of me. Just find me on social media. I think finding me on Facebook alone, I think that's better because I have different emails attached to different things. Like, I am the CEO and president of my own nonprofit, and I have 4 programs underneath mine. Then I'm a youth coordinator for another nonprofit for chess. And then I run my own personal club for chess every other Sunday at Joystick. So it's like a lot of different things. And so people get confused, let alone when it comes to chess, because then they're like, oh, are you the one that do it in the mall? I'm like, no. Are you the one that do it in the library? I'm like, no, I just promote those. Those are not that's not my club, but I'm part of it. Mine is at Joystick. You know what I'm saying? So it's just...
So Facebook.
Find me on Facebook, and then I'll direct you. If you find the right one, then... It'll have a pin post of collaboration or reaching out, and then I could send the direct information there. But I have a personal, and then I have like a collaboration public one to work with different people.
Yeah, I'll have all of those links in the show notes. Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of
notes. Yeah, I will get all the notes and put them so that people can find you for whatever they're looking for. But thank you so much. How are you feeling after your first birth chart reading?
That makes a lot of sense. I'm not going to lie. It's a lot of confirmation for me knowing that all the work that I've been putting in for the past couple years, it's reflecting of what my purpose is.
Yeah.
And so I can't sit on it no more. I have to do. I have to be movement. I have to just do it. And just like Shia LaBeouf, just do it. And I'm like, all right, I guess I'll do it. So it makes me excited because then it's pushing me towards my overall goals for this year at least.
Yeah, I'm wishing you all the best of luck with all of the million roles that you have, and that you find the aligned community, and that you and your family are happy and healthy. And thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it a lot. My thing was just like the accuracy.
Oh.
The accuracy is accurate.
All right. You got a live review here.
Yeah.
Astrologer approved by Zombie.
Yeah, it was really cool though. I mean, I didn't want to reject anything, but everything seemed like it was like in my face. So I was just like, wow. I'm shocked, but it's in a good way. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. This was such a blast. And again, follow Zombie from all of the links in the show notes. If you want to contribute to the chess club or help the youngins with the sports, definitely hit her up. That's what she's looking for right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I hope to see your content soon whenever you start live streaming again. Whenever you start your podcast, let us know.
All righty. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.